Hey, you're good.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Today is April 15th, 2025, and this is the meeting of the Northborough Planning Board. My name is Amy Paretsky. I'm Chair of the Planning Board. We were notified that we actually don't have to do the script anymore for the COVID script, as long as I announce that all votes will be by roll call vote still because we are fully remote, and that if people want to follow along, it will be on the agenda, the link to call in, and also that it is being recorded. So, all right, it is now 6:02, and I still have to make sure that everybody can be heard, so I will do a roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Here.
Anthony Zaitin,
Here.
Millie Milton,
Here.
Brad is running late, so he's not here
I'm here.
yet.
I'm here.
There he is.
Popped
Okay,
in. Good timing.
just in the nick of time.
Yes, I'm
And
here.
and Lori Connors.
Here.
Okay. And will any other staff be joining us tonight?
I did get a last minute email from Josh with a letter, which I forwarded to all of you. He did not tell me whether he would be joining us this evening or not, so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, thanks. First on the agenda, we have the continuation of the application for a common driveway, special permit and site plan, residential A district, 11, 3, and 7, Reservoir Street. We did receive a letter that they want to continue. They want to continue the hearing until May 20th. So, we have to pick a time. I think we should pick 6. You think so, Lori?
That sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Do I hear a motion to continue the hearing for the common driveway on 3, 7, and 11 Reservoir Street for May 20th at 6 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
And Bill seconds. Roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have the zoning bylaws. And we're going to start the zoning bylaws, but at like 10 past 6, I might stop it because we do have a public hearing for a scenic road application, and I didn't want them to have to sit through our whole meeting. So we do have 6 minutes. So I think we're going to start. Lori, maybe you could tell us about the letter from Attorney Aikman. He had some updates.
Sure. I will share my screen if I can. So I did receive a track changes version of the warrant. And I saw that John had made some additional comments, in particular to Article 58 and Article 62. So with regards to Article 58, he did highlight letter H, water and sewer services for an attached accessory dwelling unit shall be made by means of a principal dwelling's interior plumbing. The Department of Public Works will not provide or approve a dedicated water meter or service for attached accessory dwellings, nor will a dedicated sewer connection to the main be allowed. So his comment was, this requirement could be challenged as unreasonable under certain circumstances per the state regulations. Any requirement concerning utilities, safety, and emergency access that is more restrictive than is permitted by state requirements, including under the fire code, is unreasonable. Then letter E below, had to do with the off-street parking space. And he said, note that per state regulations, no off-street parking can be required for an ADU located on a lot where any part of the lot is within half mile of a transit station, which of course, that's not applicable to us. I did reach out to Amy to talk about letter H and ask her what she wanted to do. And she thought that because this is the requirement, well, actually, Amy, why don't you say what you told me instead of me
Well,
putting words in your mouth?
I think when we were kind of talking about it, and it was something that Scott wanted to add, Scott Charpentier. So we were gonna leave it because Attorney Aikman said it could be challenged, but it's not there are a lot of things that a lot of towns are doing that Bob has mentioned may go through the court system and they may be challenged, they may not be challenged. So since Scott Charpentier wanted it and we didn't have time to reach out to him, I thought we were just gonna leave it on.
On letter I, the only change that we did make is this was the language that was in the bylaw already. So we did strike out at least, because that was another comment that came from John Eichman previously, where he was concerned that that would make the building inspector feel that maybe we were saying that there should be more than one off-street parking space. And it is the requirement by Mass General Law is only one off-street parking space. So
Okay.
just to clarify that, we struck at least. And then moving right along, he made no changes on the other bylaws in between. But Article 62 had to do with the inclusionary zoning bylaw. And let's see, coming up, density bonus. So he suggested eliminating this language here shown in red. May waive the density and dimensional regulations specified in section 7-06-030 in order to help offset the affordable dwelling requirement. So his comment says, I recommend deleting this language. It appears to be a statement of intent that is duplicated below. So I agreed with him, went over this with Amy. She agreed to delete that as well. Then he also pointed out to me that I had the wrong reference on 7-06-020, which I looked in the zoning bylaw and found him to be correct. So I switched wherever it said 7-06-030 to 020. And I believe that was it. Those were his only comments.
We
So,
pointed out that it's confusing because they have the table is 020, but they have it attached to the end of 030 just because they wanted to put this page sideways, and that's where it fit in the book. So it goes 020, 030, then the table for 020, which
yes,
is why we thought the table was 030.
and I think that when we modified the zoning bylaw last year, every single reference that I put to the dimensional table was 030, because that's what it says over the table. So that will probably be something we'll have to correct, housekeeping in the future. So anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing that. So I sent out the final version as it appears in the warrant to all of you. It's reflected in that Board of Selectmen letter dated April 9th. So did anybody have any questions or concerns about that? Oh, Amy, there was one thing we noticed in the design review committee. it was a word. What was it? It was in the sign bylaw. And we changed that
It was
as
a-
well.
We had to change approve to review because Bob said
Yes.
the design review committee doesn't approve anything. They review things. So we did meet with the design review committee this week and we changed that word in the sign bylaw to read that the design review committee will review the signs versus approve the signs. So we did make that one change too because Bob had called it out. So when we met this week, we made that change.
So the deadline for it going to the paper was Friday. So that was the conversation I had with Amy because of course here we were meeting on Tuesday, but it was going to be after it went to the printer. So if anybody has a problem, of course, we can make changes on the town meeting floor. I didn't think that you folks would have a problem with those minor changes, but if you do, then certainly mention them now. No?
No, where was that notice for the approve versus review? Just out of curiosity.
So that is on page. Let's see. If you're looking at the Board of Selectmen letter, it is on page. Let's see.
Is that the one that's the final corrected one? Or is
Yeah,
that,
it's on the Board of Selectmen version. Let's see, send it. Maybe prepare the design review committee shall review. It's on page 5. Look under C, sign permits, nonconformity and compliance.
Mhm.
Subsection 2, starting design review by the design review committee is required for all wall projecting awning or freestanding signs in
Mhm.
the downtown business district. And then the third sentence down says, the design review committee shall review the sign permit application for compliance with those guidelines and sends its written review letter with recommendations regarding sign design to the building inspector within 20 days of receipt of the sign permit
Mhm.
application. Failure of the design review committee to act within 20 days of receipt of the application shall be deemed a lack of opposition thereto. I think it was there.
So it's already been changed in this version.
Yes, so this is the
Okay.
final version. So
Okay,
we
good.
changed it. I went upstairs, I spoke with the selectman's office and asked them to change the word from approved to review.
Okay,
And they did that.
okay,
So it'll appear correctly on the printed warrant.
okay, great.
Okay,
Okay. Are there any questions about the zoning bylaws that are going to town meeting? Okay, well, I think we're gonna stop. Do you guys mind stopping here? We'll do the scenic driveway. And then we'll come back, the scenic road bylaw.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And we shouldn't have much more to do with the zoning bylaws when we come back, so. All
and
right,
I see that Josh Van Houten is sitting in the attendees. However, our applicant for the scenic road bylaw is not.
well, then maybe we'll finish with what we're doing until they show up.
So what else we need to do tonight having to do with the zoning bylaws, the amendments, is to vote on your recommendation for town meeting. And then you folks to decide which articles you want to present. And then I don't know if you want to go over the slideshow. Or whether you want me to just email it to you, and then if you want to make changes to various slides, especially the ones you're presenting, you can send those to me. Of course, town meeting is in a week and a half. And I know they're gonna want these slides a week in advance. So if I could get your final changes a week in advance, that'd be great.
Okay. My vote would be that you email them out to us and then the person who's doing the slides can update their own slides. Because I would hate to go through them now and update someone else's presentation slide. How do you
Sounds
feel,
Yeah,
everybody else?
I agree.
that works for me.
good. All right, so do you want to vote your recommendations then on each of the warrant articles?
Sure, should we close the public hearing or should we leave it open in case there's some discussion? So I
I
guess,
think you can leave it open while you're voting your recommendations,
okay,
just in case there's, well, although it doesn't look like we have anybody in the audience.
that's what I was gonna ask, if there's anybody in the audience that has any last questions. It is a public hearing, but the only one in the audience is Josh. So unless Josh has any questions, we can go forward. Okay.
Oh,
So,
I just got an email from the applicant who's saying the computer won't let him get into the Zoom meeting.
Hmm.
Um. Maybe I'll try resending him the link.
okay.
I'm gonna send it to him as if he's one of us.
While he tries to get on, do you want me to take a vote for the warrant articles?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just opening it up. I can share my screen.
Do we have them all numbered yet, or do we just presume that from going back and forth from 58 to 62?
They are numbered. So I can actually tell you what the numbers are. The first article is Article 56.
Okay. So I'll start with
So
56.
that's the definition of dwelling unit.
Got it.
Do you see the articles?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So the first article is Article 56. It's a zoning bylaw, section 702040 definitions. And it's changing the definition of a dwelling unit. Do I hear a motion to vote to approve changing the definition of a dwelling unit?
So
Do
moved.
I have to read the whole thing or can we just do it?
So you are recommending that to approve to town meeting. So that's your recommendation to town meeting.
Okay.
So you're making a motion to recommend approval of
So moved.
Article 56.
Okay.
Bill
Was
said-
that Bill?
said- Yeah, you said so moved.
Okay, Bill said so moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
I,
Millie Milton,
Aye.
and Brad Blanchett.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay, that one is 5-0. Next article would be Article 57. Do I hear a motion to recommend approval of Article 57, which updates bylaw section 703.050 site plans?
So moved.
Do I
Second.
hear? And Bill seconds. Okay, roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett. Oh, I think Brad's frozen. He's not moving.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Okay,
He's going off and then on.
I'm an aye, but we'll have to wait for him to see if we get our 5-0.
Brad's back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Zoom crashed, but yeah, I'm an aye.
Okay. And I'm an aye. So that one is 5-0. Do I hear a motion to recommend to approve Article 59
58.
or 58?
Yep.
Oh, my numbering's off. All right, second. 58. Zoning bylaw section 705.020 classification of uses, which is the updates to the accessory dwelling unit bylaw.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. That's 5-0. Do I hear a motion to recommend Article 59, zoning bylaw section 706.030, supplemental regulations to add the lot shape irregularity definition?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, do I hear a motion? Actually, I should ask if anyone has any comments first, but do I hear a motion? Well, maybe we make the motion and then if there are comments, somebody can state them. Do I hear a motion to recommend to approve bylaw 60? Section 709.010 land clearing and grading?
So moved.
Second. Okay, roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So that one's 5-0. Do I hear a motion to recommend to approve Article 61 zoning bylaw section 709.040 signs?
So moved.
Second.
There's a second. Okay, roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
No.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So that one is 4-1. Okay, do I have a motion to approve Article 62, which is zoning bylaw section 710.070, the inclusion of affordable housing?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So that is 5-0. Congratulations, everybody. Um, so now I think I'm going to close the hearing. And then after we hear from the applicant, if he got on, then we can decide who's doing which articles. So do I have a motion to close the hearing on the proposed amendments to the sections of the zoning bylaw, chapter 7, as we just described?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, that hearing has been closed. I see the applicant has joined us, but he's joined us as Carrie. Carrie's really changed.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sure.
We can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, funny thing is I was able to click on the YouTube live stream and see you guys talking, but I couldn't originally click on the join meeting. The error message was saying that the host hadn't started the meeting, so that's kind of what was going on my end, just to kind of FYI for you guys.
Hmm.
Do you know how to change the name on the Zoom?
You know, I usually just click Zoom and you mean like my name right now?
Right. I think because you were sent a link from Lori, it says Carrie Martinek under your name.
Oh, all right. Let me kind of, I got some buttons I can hit. It says participants, 10, share screen, record, app, stop video, mute.
If you click the three dots after mute, it'll give you the option of changing your name. It says rename.
All right. I clicked on the mute audio settings, test speaker.
So if you click on your
On
picture,
your frame.
and then it says there's a blue box that says mute, and then there's three dots, a blue box with three dots in it. Click
If
on
you-
the three dots and
I
then
don't-
click on rename.
I'm just looking for the three dots.
If you go up to the right of your picture and
Yep.
you put your cursor up there, it should show up.
All right. I'm seeing like sign in, view. I can see you guys on the top of the screen. I got like 6 different views up
No,
top.
You've got to put your
Just
mouse
the
over
top
your
of
picture.
own picture.
I see webinar user.
Laurie or Amy,
No.
you guys can do it because you're co-hosts.
Oh, okay. Let me
You have the
try.
ability to change it for them.
Great. Well, maybe
I
Lori
got
will
it.
do
I'll
it.
do it.
And I'll read the public hearing notice. Before we do the presentation, I
Okay.
just have to read the public hearing notice.
Okay.
Okay. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 9, the Northborough Planning Board will hold a public hearing on April 15th, 2025 at 6:10, it's now 6:28, to consider the scenic road application submitted by MOCOR LLC, CO Jennifer Corview,
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
my God, come on.
for 189 Howard Street, map 37, parcel 114 in the residential B zoning district. Do I have to read the whole thing, Lori?
You don't have to read the, how you get into the meeting.
Okay, the applicant seeks approval within the limits of the road right-of-way to remove approximately 24 feet of a stone wall in order to construct a driveway for a single-family home. And that's the rest of it. The rest of it is how to log in. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Would you mind introducing yourself, and do you want to present what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm Steve Corvo. I'm here for the applicant Mocor LLC. What we have is a single family home proposed on the lot. We have a site plan designed with the septic system in the front, and we took a look at how we wanted to lay the site out and where to bring the driveway in context of where how the lot connects to the street there. We think that's the best place to do it. In order to get in, we don't need to cut any trees down in the right of way. We just need to move the stones out of the way. And I sent along a picture at some point to kind of demarcate where we're going in. It kind of has a red dash. That's the center line of the driveway. So our plan was basically to open it up 24 feet, take the stones that are there and use them in spots where the wall is not as discernible. We'll just kind of stack them up. And if you look at the stone wall on the lot, it's somewhat not discernible as you head towards the center of town. So we figured we'd just take the rocks and move them over towards that side.
Okay, thanks. Lori, did you have anything to add?
No, I went up to the site. I saw where he had identified the location of where the driveway was. So there was a mark on a wall, which I forwarded the picture to you. And it looked pretty self-explanatory. My suggestion is like the prior application we had a couple of months ago on Reservoir Street. My suggestion would be he use the stones that are removed for the driveway opening to rebuild the wall within the vicinity on either side of the driveway.
Mhm.
It's pretty short. I tried to open the picture, which I have on my screen, but unfortunately I can't see it with the share. So I'm not going to be able to open that up for whatever reason. I do not know why.
It's
Oh,
it's
actually,
on,
no, I see it now.
okay. I
So,
was gonna say, Laura, it's on the town website under the application. I'm looking at it right now. So
yep. Yep, so there it is.
Yeah.
So these three trees right beyond the stone wall, those would be removed, but they are not within the right of way, is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve.
No, you've got it right, correct?
well, yeah, they look like they're hanging over the street anyway, so it's probably a good thing.
Okay. So any
So when you're
board
looking at
members?
that picture there, that's standing at the corner of the lot, looking down the road towards the center of town. And that first, like, maybe 25 or 30 feet, that wall is around that height. Once you get 30 to 40 feet down, it's trace. It kind of like, there's some stones there, but it's not as discernible as what you're looking at right there.
Where's the driveway on that picture? Is it down where it's,
If it's possible to show that second photo with the red center line, I don't know if it's a possibility.
I'll have to find that in my email. So.
I have
Okay.
it up, Lori. If
Oh,
you
you
want me
got
to
it?
share, if you want me to share my screen, I can.
If you want to make Bill the co-host.
yeah, if he wants to, I might be able to share it too. I can see it on my computer.
No, I can.
Can you
I got it. Yeah.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone
That's a
see
good
that?
picture. So like that red paint's the center line of where the driveway is gonna go. And as you can kind of see, it's as you go left as looking at the photo, it's barely discernible. As you go right, it starts to get into what you saw in the other picture.
Yep.
Okay. Do any board members have any comments? Lori did mention that Josh he wrote a letter right before the meeting, and I did read that. I don't know if others did, but Josh didn't have any concerns either. So,
Amy, I have a couple questions. Well, first is a comment. Yeah, so I agree with what Lori said, as far as repurposing the rocks that are being removed, just to give the rest of the wall a little bit more life. I would agree with that. And then not a question about the rocks, but is there a particular reason, or can you walk me through the reason where you put the driveway on, was it Green Street instead of in Green Street and not like the other end of Howard Street? Is it a safety issue, or is it just because of the design with the septic tank?
Mostly the design with the septic, and
Okay.
it works out better when you come in on the higher side. The lot has a very gentle slope, but when you have the option to come in on the lower or the higher side, it always works out better coming in on the higher side, because then you only have a couple steps getting into the house. When you come in on the lower side, when there's a slight slope, then you sometimes you have a couple more steps getting into the house. So people always prefer if they can get in and out of the house 2 or 3 steps.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
all right, I'm gonna check to see if there are any public comments. There are 2 people in the audience. Do either of you have a question? Okay, seeing none. Lori has written up a draft decision. I'm not sure if people had time to read it. I can bring it up. Has the applicant had time to read it? She had 3 conditions. I was curious if you were okay with them.
Yeah, I hadn't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet?
No, I didn't forward it because it was such a tiny decision. I figured
Right.
it'd be easy to Easy
can
to
share-
talk about right here.
Right, I could share it. It pretty much just says what we talked about reusing the stones
Yeah, I'm good with that.
on the, I'm gonna pull it up. Okay. Right, so the three conditions Lori had shared was the stones removed shall be kept on site and used to repair, rebuild the existing stone wall. No tree whose trunk has a diameter of 4 inches or more shall be removed unless the tree warden authorizes the tree removal, and
Yep,
that's on the right of way.
yep,
And the applicant shall complete the stone wall prior to receipt of an occupancy permit for the dwelling at 189 Howard Street.
yeah, that's good.
Okay. How about the board? Did you have any comments or any other conditions that you wanted to add?
Nope.
No,
Okay, so if no one has any questions or concerns, do I have a motion to approve the common drive? I mean, it's not a common driveway.
Did you
The
close
scenic
the
road
public?
decision. Oh, I didn't close it.
No.
Oh, okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing for the scenic road decision?
So
No.
moved. Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
I,
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Now that the hearing's closed, do you have anything else you'd like to discuss?
No.
All right, hearing
Good.
nothing, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the scenic road decision for 189 Howard Street?
so moved.
Is there a
Subject
second?
to, if you could just make it subject to the conditions.
Okay, subject to
A through C.
conditions A, B, and C.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Anthony Zaitin,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
I,
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Congratulations, it's been approved.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, thanks Lori for doing up the decision in advance.
My pleasure.
Next on the agenda, we'll go back to voting on who will be presenting the zoning bylaws at town meeting. The first three, I would think would go together by one person because they all have to do with the accessory dwelling bylaws. It's changing the definition, the site plan, and describing the accessory dwelling units. So I would think those three would go together with one person.
that makes
Then
sense.
there's, yeah. And then there's a regular lot. Then there's the land use and clearing, signs, and inclusionary zoning. Is there anyone who wants to choose one or the other?
Madam Chair, just as a reminder, I am not going to be there for town meeting.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be in San Francisco at a conference, unfortunately. So I get to miss all the fun.
I suspect you're gonna be having a lot more fun than we are.
I doubt it, with a bunch of boring cybersecurity nervous people.
I would be more than happy to take the first three, maybe even the first four, unless that's too many.
The first three would be good because, you know, and then we'll leave some for Anthony and Brad
Okay.
and myself.
Unless somebody else wanted those, it doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me. If you want to do them, you can do them.
Okay.
Anybody else have a preference for any of them?
For me, it's really, that's the one did not want to do. So other than that, I'm pretty open. I do like inclusionary, but if somebody's got a desire to do that.
If you want to do that one, you can do that one.
Yeah, run with it, Anthony.
So that's Anthony, okay.
So that leaves signs, land clearing and grading, and a regular lot definition. Which would you like, Brad? Do you want any of them?
I don't want to do signs.
That's on you,
That
Amy.
one.
You know that.
Okay, signs is on me.
You know it.
Yeah, I'll do what was it, the land clearing and
The
It's an
regular,
irregular lot.
the regular lot.
And I'm sure Lori would help us with any of these. If we have questions up in front of town meeting floor.
Okay, so Anthony, you said you're doing inclusionary zoning?
correct.
All right.
I understood that was kind of a hot one last time around, so could be fun.
Inclusionary was a hot one last time.
That's what I heard.
Years ago, it got shot down. Probably before I was on the board, before 2014. But I
Okay.
read it in the minutes. Somebody asked why it got shot down, and I guess some people showed up to shoot it down.
Well,
You
maybe
just never know year to year.
yeah, maybe things have changed enough. We'll see.
Well, and
Yep.
I think the fact that we're just sort of bringing this up to state law, what the current state law is, I think is going to help.
It's the accessory dwelling one. But the inclusionary, we added in a density bonus, which they didn't have the first time. So that should
Right.
help.
That might help sweeten the pot a bit.
Right.
Okay, so I
Yes.
think we're all set. Lori said that she'll send out the slides and we can update as we see fit
Yeah.
and get them back to her a week before town meeting. And then Lori, similar to past town meetings, can you print out the motions that we're supposed to read? Usually we get the motion and then we have to hand it to Fred George or one of the Board of Selectmen and they hand it up.
Yep, absolutely. I will get those for you and send them along.
Okay. Before we present Brad, we usually like to sit together down at the front and Lori can hand us what we need and
Okay.
we have support for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys usually sit off in the distance. I remember.
I'm
So,
happy not to be on the hot seat for once. It's nice to share it with you guys, although I have to do the presentation for Article 29 on the Blake Street project. So I'll be sharing your pain this year on that project at
I'm
least.
sure I'll be dragging you up there, Lori.
Well, I'm happy to help out in any way I can.
all right, next on the agenda, are there any subcommittee updates? Or A&Rs, actually lot releases and bonds?
We have none this time.
Okay. Any subcommittee updates?
Nope, not from me.
Not really.
Design review map, but I already told you about the update. We had one small change, but we updated it. And I mentioned it during our zoning bylaw discussion. Okay. So next planning board meetings are May 6th and May 20th. Is there anything on the agenda for May 6th, Lori?
I just received an A&R today.
Okay,
So that's pretty much the only thing I have on the agenda for May 6th.
okay. And May 20th is the scenic, common driveway.
Yep.
Okay. And the master plan implementation committee doesn't meet until May.
So
All
the
right.
ZBA meeting at the end of April was canceled due to lack of business. So we're gonna be having a special executive session, probably on May 8th.
Okay. Right, does anybody else have anything to add? No? Well, good luck, everybody, and I'll see you at town meeting.
All right, have a great week.
All right, thanks.
Good night,
Thanks.
everybody.
Good
Thank you.
Is there
night.
a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I gotta write
I
that
make a
on my
motion
notes.
to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll call vote. Anthony Zaitin,
Hi.
Bill Pierce,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Brad Blanchett,
Aye.
and Amy Pertzke's an aye. All right, now I'll see you guys at town meeting.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
All right, thanks.
Good
Bye.
night.